morning and round three of Doctor Chess League. And yesterday we had two exciting games, and this is round three. I will be in the games have already kicked off. We're a little bit late, but so I will show you what has happened so far in the game. The game has progressed a little bit, and the board is not that clear, but let's adjust the camera a bit and let me get the current position, and then we can start the game. The game is between Pankaj Singh, I'm sorry, white is Pankaj Singh and black is Varun Chhabra. A little bit more about the players. Dr. Pankaj is professor in anatomy at NIMS Medical College, Jaipur. He has been gold medalist at university level. Has a rating of 1640 as well. That's not a bad rating. Um, that is actually a very good rating. And with black, we have Varun Chhabra working as assistant professor and consultant cardiac anesthesiologist at MGH Sitapur, Jaipur, had won under 16 Rajasthan State Level Championship in 1994 when I was not even around. And they played at national level, won Kota District Sub Junior and Junior Championships at Ames Pulse 2000, won at Tevilton last time. That's great. Those are some good achievements. All right, and to follow the game, I'll have to get the positions again, but to my knowledge, the game started with e4, c5, and f3, and c6. Uh, the existing systems of Sicilian, which is also the favorite of world champion Magnus Carlsen. He plays the Sveshnikov, but White decided to play it a bit offbeat, and he decided to go for the close Sicilian, which starts with bishop c4, and e6 followed, and c3 followed. And after that, I have to uh, get the rest of the game. Once we get to the game, we can continue the game from the screen. But since we are a little bit lag, I can see the development, but I'm not able to understand how the game has proceeded. Very hard to. The queens have somehow reached d5. The bishop has sacrificed itself on f2. Um, the pawn is on b. One of the pawn has reached on a b5, so the a pawn has reached on b5. The bishop is still here. This bishop is dead. Maybe we can do some reverse analysis. I think this happened. I think d5 happened after that, which looks like a natural move, and that's why I think c3 was not a good move by white. And then maybe this happened, and maybe at some point black decided to play a6. And then some. This game is a bit confusing. Very hard to guess what happened. Somehow, White Castle. Let's make natural moves. Castling must have happened. This bishop somehow got out. It's more like a puzzle to guess what happened. How can we get this bishop out? Maybe they played d5. Took, took. Somehow we reached this position. I don't know. I will just reach to the position on the board and then we'll see what can we do. This happened and then this is the current position and it is white to move and then white went back. This is what I can see from the game and maybe now we can start to commentate a bit. But the board line is not the bestest to figure out the game. Anyway, I think what's the material count here? Somehow magically the material is balanced. And bishop, interesting. The problem with both positions is that both have not developed very normally. They have gone for some knight g5, moving the same piece a couple of times, which in my understanding is not very principled. But if it works, it works. Also, black is severely underdeveloped. He has not castle. His pieces are in the middle of the board. I don't think it's a good idea to play like that. And I choose White's position here because he just have to get two more pieces out and then he will be done with his development. Whereas Black will take some time to get things going. I think F7 is a very big target right now. And also, if you give up the bishop on e6, that is also a big problem because how do you recapture the bishop on e6? If you go and to recapture it, there's no way you can. You have to capture it with the f pawn, and that ruins your structure for the long time, as well as your king is a bit unsafe. And if you go taking with any other piece, the e file is wide open for white to attack. If these two pieces were out, I would say that white is already winning and black should resign. But maybe black have some hopes, unrealistic hopes, but definitely some hopes. Uh, Maybe queen e7 is a forced move here. But I don't think black's gonna survive here. It's too much initiative. Only three pieces are developed and white is attacking with all of them. Maybe what's the move here? It's hard to figure out a move for black. And queen d7 was played, but now it's over after knight d6. because you cannot take with the pawn since that's a checkmate. I think, yeah. And if you take with the queen, it's here and more or less even moves as naive as bishop f4, f6, and then queen. Yeah, there was stressing. Yeah, knight e6 has been captured. Okay, interesting. So white player has played a very aggressive and clean game this time. Although I don't like the uh, ignorance and development of the queen side, but maybe we did not get the game right, and that was something concrete. Now the queen is pinned. We're following the same line which we discussed, and the rook comes here, and I think they have to put the knight in between or resign. Ah, sorry, I just played bishop f1 last time. The queen is hanging. Sorry, so sorry. That would be a bad idea. So maybe just uh, go take a tempo on the rook and as well as take this pawn on b5 and then collect the queen anyway. So this something like this could happen and takes, and then we have to go there, and then we can yeah. Still, there's this check coming, so we have to be a little bit precise. Development very important. As we always see, even in the master games, development is one of the most important things. And here, development is the problem. If White had developed one piece from the queen side, it would be a resignation. But now Black has some glimmer of hope. Although it's hard to believe that Black survives this. You see, I think this will happen. This is going to happen. They have to take the pawn on decent. Now the board is crystal clear. Wow. Why can't we see the board like that all the time? And most of you watching will be watching the stream, I think, because Sunday morning and uh, nobody's live watching live. That's okay. It's sad that we could not see the start of the game. Yeah, the B7 pawn has been taken. If you could see the start of the game, maybe we would get some more insights about the game. But anyway, we somehow reconstructed it and pretty accurate position. Let's look at the player's profile and name again. So if we if I update you with the standing, Somani Hospital is on on the top with 2 out of 2 wins. ALCS follows them with the same tiebreak of 7-7. And then there is EBA Hospital, SDMH, Apex Hospital with a Neo Clinic with 1 wins and 1 losses. And then there's IBS and Kala Hospital, which have to catch it and are currently standing with 2 losses. But I'm sure they would catch up in the coming rounds. Right now, the match we are watching is uh, Mr. Pankaj Singh, Premier and Captain of EVAA Hospital, versus Varun Sabra, the Premier of Apex Hospital. Also, the other noticeable match would be Ishan Rajwani versus Yash Bharadia. I will be very excited to see what happens in this match because Ishan won both the games yesterday, but Yash is a difficult opponent to face. He has been Commonwealth gold medalist and has brought Rajasthan lots of laurels and a very promising player to look out for in the future also. Also, some interesting matches are Anuj Rajvanshi versus Anish Ahmed of Neo Clinic and SDMH, and Anshul Butadia versus Arpit Gupta, who actually defeated Yash yesterday. And Anshul also, we saw the match, he was winning throughout, very positional game, but in the time pressure, he made some mistakes. So, very exciting game. I think ALCS and Somani Hospitals match would decide the sole leader if the match does not end in a draw. If it ends in a draw, then they would be exactly tied again for the first and second position with 2 rounds to spare. Sorry, my camera is slipping. Okay, now they're discussing or what is going on? Did they resign? Oh, they resigned. Maybe they missed this idea, the entire idea of putting the rook to, and someone showing them that, yeah. Actually, I think there's someone showing them the variation after rook d8 and why they can't just give a check and take the knight because basically this check comes in the end of the line, and now it's not so clear if we keep the queens on. Maybe such checks would follow, and it's not easy to get out of these things. So of course, the better idea would be to take it with the queen, so that and on check you can be a little bit safer. But regardless, you can lose a piece. And this is a weird position, but still, I think with h4, h5, white is definitely winning. Again, the development is a big problem. And we can start with a very um, very annoying move, which would I'm not sure c4 b4, but this move would not let black develop very easily. It will take 2 extra moves, and then by the time we reach there, the pawns will already be also b2. Protecting b2 is rook b5 is a good move, and now black has to go here to develop the rook, and then h4. And I think it's already the pawn have started moving. It's difficult uh, to progress from here, but it's a very fascinating position. Both of them have not developed the knight and the rook of opposite sides of the board. But yeah, resignation was definitely premature. I think they could have tried for some tricks here after rook d8. Let's see if there is a concrete win. Mm, the rook d1 check is definitely annoying. If we go there, the knight comes to this. Maybe now we can start to bring out some pieces. Maybe a move like bishop e3, which looks illogical at first, can be good. Bishop f4 can be good. All these moves can be good. And bishop f4 is good because there's no check. Maybe now we can actually pick up the piece, and on this check we have this bishop coming back. We don't have to play g3, which would lose the h2 pawn in some cases, as we've seen. So yeah, that was the game, and white won, which means Mr. Pankaj Singh won the game from EVA Hospital, and Varan Chabla lost the game. Great. So I think they're still discussing. Yeah, they're setting up the board. We should also set up the stream, and I'll see you on the next round, which will be the fourth round.